When we think about living longer, we often focus on diet, sleep, and stress. But what if one of the most powerful predictors of longevity is something you can flex? Dr. Nathaniel Armstrong is here from Longevity Medical Clinic to share why muscle is the new vital sign. Welcome. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Well, when we think about these studies, what are they showing about muscle and longevity?
It's hugely important. So we have a lot of good research now demonstrating muscle is essentially the organ of health, youth, and longevity. And essentially, people who have more muscle live longer and have a better quality of life.
Ooh, okay. So we got to get to the weight training, the strength training, I guess I should say. So in fact, having more muscles, it can also lower quite a few risks. What are those?
That's correct. Having more muscle lowers the risk of all-cause mortality, that's dying from anything, as well as Alzheimer's disease, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes.
Okay, so we can see them all here on the screen. And when we think about, all right, we know that we need muscles, but let's go through some ways that we can increase strength in muscle. So we're going to also pull that up in just a few moments, but we know the number one is, of course, exercise, especially when you think about strength training. Why is that so important?
That's right. It's really is, use it or lose it. So we got to work that muscle to keep our muscle, and really our target should be growing muscle. So we got to be pushing and pulling against resistance to work that muscle and keep that strength.
Right. So when we think about the 5 ways that we can increase the strength in muscle, another one, adequate sleep. I work the morning show. I'm telling you right now, I think I'm failing in this category. But talk more about how do sleep changes need to be made as we grow older?
Sleep is always important, no matter our age. Rule of thumb is 7 to 9 hours, but ideally we're going to sleep and we're waking up refreshed and feeling rested. And so if that's not the case, talk with your doctor and get it addressed, because it's crucial.
So would you say, all right, so 7 to 9, that's kind of the standard, but if you need more than 9, then maybe you probably want to go get something checked out.
Perhaps.
All right, so when we think about protein, that's also another thing a lot of people are focusing on right now. How much protein does the average person need a day?
So the easiest rule of thumb for your protein is 1 gram per ideal body weight, per pound of ideal body weight per day.
Okay, so, whatever you want to weigh. So if you want to weigh 175 pounds, you need to make sure you're pulling in 175 grams of protein a day.
Protein per day, precisely.
And when we think about research around protein, what is it saying? I know we've seen so many people focused on that. What is the research revealing?
We want quality protein, and we got to get it in. Some of the best considerations for getting your protein in is to get it in with your first meal of the day, because that sets the tone for your metabolism for the rest of the day. And if we can get a good 30 to 50 gram serving of protein at a time, that stimulates to build the muscle.
And I'm not sure if this is a myth or not, but when we think about how you're getting your protein, does it matter if you're, let's say, doing a protein shake versus actually getting into beef and actual meats?
Yeah, so animal proteins actually do have the easiest structure and components to absorb and utilize into the body. So it's possible to meet our protein needs with the vegan diet, but if that's the case, one would probably want to be a little bit more intentional about it and make sure you're really getting plenty. But animal proteins are easier to assimilate.
Thank you. All right, let's get to the next one. When we think about on the list, micronutrients in supplements.
Crucial. So I say crucial, now they're going to build on the more crucial diet, exercise, sleep, and protein, because supplements aren't going to give us good muscle mass without doing those other things, but they'll certainly add to it once we have those things in place.
So it's all about balance. And a big one that a lot of people are focusing on, I feel like sometimes you're looking for vitamins, different ways to handle that, are our hormones. How do we go about balancing hormones? Which ones do we need?
Hormones are very important for muscle mass and our health in general. And hormone levels start declining for pretty much everybody in our 30s, and they tend to just get lower and lower as we get older. Number one for muscle mass is testosterone. Testosterone builds muscle for men and women alike. We all need all the hormones. It's going to be hugely beneficial for our metabolic health in general. but testosterone is the most anabolic hormone. And then estrogen also protects muscle mass. Estrogen also has some anabolic benefits and also spares muscle. It protects muscle from wasting away. And then there's things like DHEA. Becomes even more important as we get older. Young people tend to have plenty of DHEA, but as we get older, so older folks tend to benefit with DHEA supplementation as well. And then there's growth hormone, where once again, as we're young and we're growing, it's helping us grow, growth hormone. But as we get older, we still want that around. It's good for tissue repair. It's good for metabolism, muscle and joint health, burning fat and building muscle. We get all those benefits.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Nathaniel, for sharing just all of your wealth of knowledge. I know that Longevity has the complementary health analysis. What does that entail?
Our complementary health analysis, you get what's called an InBody, and that will actually give you a breakdown. You can get on any scale, you can get your body weight. But the InBody that we have, it breaks it down between muscle mass, body fat, even how much water weight you're carrying. So then you know how much muscle do you have relative to a normal or ideal range relative to your height. Same with body fat. And then we can begin discussing, getting these measures, addressing these and getting it where we want it to be. And with the complementary analysis, we also provide a finger stick hemoglobin A1C, which gives a measure of your average blood sugar over the past 3 months, which is hugely important for your health.
Those blood panels, definitely necessary. Well, thank you again for being here with us, and we appreciate you sharing all of your knowledge with our viewers today.
My pleasure.
Well, if you're wondering about your complementary health analysis and you want some more information about Longevity, go to the website you see on your screen, lmclinic.com.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Longevity Medical.